small or medium-sized rodents. The squirrel family includes tree squirrels, ground squirrels, chipmunks, marmots, including groundhogs, flying squirrels, and prairie dogs, amongst other rodents. The squirrels are indigenous to the Americas, Eurasia, and Africa, and were introduced by humans to Australia. The earliest known fossilized squirrels date from the Eocene epoch, and among other living rodent families, the squirrels are most closely related to the mountain beaver and to the dormice or dormice. I don't know what that is. Now let's have a move on to the etymology. The word squirrel, first attested in 1327. That's quite early. And it comes from the Anglo-Norman esquirrel, which is from the Old French escurel, the reflex of the Latin word scurius. This Latin word was borrowed from the ancient Greek word skurios, which means shadow-tailed, referred to the bushy appendage possessed by many of its members. A very deep history indeed. The native Old English word for squirrel, acerna, survived only into Middle English as acorn before being replaced. The Old English word is of common Germanic origin, cognates of which are still used in other Germanic languages, including the German. Eichhornchen, or the Norwegian econ, the Dutch ekorn, the Swedish ekor, and the Danish egern. A group of squirrels is called a dray, or a scurry. Wow. Let's take a look at the characteristics of the squirrel. Squirrels are generally small animals ranging in size from the African pygmy squirrel and the least pygmy squirrel, which is from 10 to 14 centimeters in total length and just 12 to 26 grams, or 0.42 to 0.92 ounces in weight. That's a small little squirrel. To the Bhutan giant flying squirrel, which is up to 1.27 meters, or 4 feet 2 inches in total length, and several marmot species which can weigh 8 kilograms or 18 pounds or more. Squirrels typically have slender bodies with bushy tails and large eyes. In general, their fur is soft and silky, though much thicker in some species than others. The coat colour of squirrels is highly variable between and often even within species. In most squirrel species, the hind limbs are longer than the forelimbs, which all species have either 4 or 5 toes on each paw. The paws, which include an often poorly developed thumb, have soft pads on the undersides and versatile, sturdy claws for grasping and climbing. Tree squirrels, unlike most mammals, can descend a tree head first. omnivorous, subsisting on seeds and nuts, but many will eat insects and even small vertebrates. As their large eyes indicate, squirrels have an excellent sense of vision, which is especially important for the tree-dwelling species. Many also have a good sense of touch, with vibrissae on their limbs as well as their heads. I don't know what that means either. The teeth of Squirrels, the family type which I cannot pronounce, follow the typical rodent pattern with large incisors for gnawing that grow throughout the life, and cheek teeth for grinding that are set back behind a wide gap or diastema. The typical dental formula for squirrels is 1.0.1.3 over 1.0.1.3. Many juvenile squirrels die in the first year of life. Adult squirrels can have a lifespan of 5 to 10 years in the wild. Some can survive 10 to 20 years in captivity. Premature death may be caused when a nest falls from the tree, in which case the mother may abandon her young if their body temperature is not correct. Many such baby squirrels have been rescued and fostered by a professional wildlife rehabilitator until they could safely return to the wild. Although the density of squirrel populations in many places and the constant care required by premature squirrels means that few rehabilitators are willing to spend their time doing this, and such animals are routinely euthanized instead. A bit of a sobering ending. Now, behaviour. Squirrels meet either once or twice a year, and following a gestation period of 3 to 6 weeks, give birth to a number of offspring that vary by species. The young are altricial, being born naked, toothless and blind. In most species of squirrels, the female alone looks after the young, which are weaned at 6 to 10 weeks, and become sexually mature by the end of the first year. In general, the ground-dwelling squirrel species are social, often living in well-developed colonies, while the tree-dwelling species are often more solitary. Ground squirrels and tree squirrels are usually either diurnal or crepuscular, obviously, while the flying squirrels tend to be nocturnal, except for lactating flying squirrels and their young, which have a period of diurnality during the summer. Feeding. Because squirrels cannot digest cellulose, they must rely on foods rich in protein, carbohydrates and fats. In temperate regions, early spring is the hardest time of year for squirrels because the nuts they buried are beginning to sprout and thus are no longer available to eat, while many of the usual food sources have not yet become available. During these times, squirrels rely heavily on the buds of trees. Squirrels, being primarily herbivores, eat a wide variety of plants, as well as nuts, seeds, conifers, Some tropical squirrel species have shifted almost entirely to a diet of insects. Predatory behavior has been observed in various species of ground squirrels, in particular the 13th lined ground squirrel. For example, Bernard Bailey, a scientist in the 1920s, observed a 13th lined ground squirrel preying upon a young chicken. Wistran reported seeing this same species eating a freshly killed snake. Whittaker examined the stomachs of 139 13-lined ground squirrels and the remains of a short-tailed shrew in one of them. Bradley, examining the stomachs of white-tailed antelope squirrels, found at least 10% of his 609 specimen stomachs contained some type of vertebrate, mostly lizards and rodents. Morgard observed a white-tailed antelope capturing and eating a silky pocket mouse. Wow, squirrels, I really didn't know that you had it in you. Let's now look at the taxonomy. The living squirrels are divided into subfamilies with about 58 genera and some 285 species. The oldest squirrel fossil, Hesperopedes, dates back to the Cadrinian, the late Eocene, about 40 to 35 million years ago, and is similar to modern flying squirrels. A variety of fossil squirrels from the latest Eocene to the Miocene have not been assigned with certainty to any living lineage. At least some of these probably were variants of the oldest basal proto-squirrels, in the sense that they lacked the full range of living squirrels' autapomorphines. The distribution and diversity of such ancient and ancestral forms suggest that squirrels as a group may have originated in North America. Apart from these sometimes little-known fossil forms, the phylogeny of the living squirrels is fairly straightforward. The three main lineages are the Retufinae, the oriental giant squirrels, the Squirrelinae, and all other subfamilies. The Retufinae contain a mere handful of living species in tropical Asia. The neotropical pygmy squirrel of tropical South America is the sole living member of the Squirrelinae. The third lineage, by far the largest, has a near cosmopolitan distribution. This further supports the hypothesis that the common ancestor of all squirrels, living and fossil, lived in North America, as these three most ancient lineages seem to have radiated from there. If squirrels had originated in Eurasia, for example, one would expect quite ancient lineages in Africa, but African squirrels seem to be more recent of origin. The main group of squirrels also can be split into three subgroups, which yield the remaining subfamilies. The Squirrelinae contains the flying squirrels, the Pterominiae, and the Squirrelinae, which among other contains the American tree squirrels. The former have often been considered a separate subfamily, but are now seen as a tribe of the Squirrelinae. The pine squirrels, on the other hand, are usually included with the main tree squirrel lineage, but appear to be about as distinct as the flying squirrels, hence they are sometimes considered to be a distinct tribe, Tamiasciurni. Two of the three subfamilies are of about equal size, containing between nearly 70 lesser extent Eurasia. The Caloscurinae is most diverse in tropical Asia and contains squirrels that are also arboreal, but have a markedly different habitus and appear more elegant, an effect enhanced by their often very colourful fur. The Zerniae, the largest subfamily, are made up from the mainly terrestrial, ground-living forms and include the larger marmots and the popular prairie dogs. Among others, as well as the tree squirrels of Africa, they tend to be more gregarious than other squirrels, which do not usually live together in close-knit groups. And that appears to be the end of the squirrel Wikipedia. But if you're interested, here are the See Also Wikipedia references. Tell me if you want to read any of these. The American red squirrel, the animal track, the eastern grey squirrel, the foxed squirrel, the red squirrel, the squirrel's relationship with humans, and the western grey squirrel. Well, thank you so much for sticking by with that relatively short whispering Wikipedia episode, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. This was actually quite interesting. It was very interesting to learn about the predatory behaviour and carnivorous behaviour of some squirrels. If you want, maybe you can leave in the comments the most interesting part you found about this episode.